Hey guys, it's Carolina here from KarolinasKrafts and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, this is actually part 3 of the tutorial series for this album. This is like my larger photo album that I did. I did a Christmas version originally, then the paper matting I'm doing with a house theme. So that was part 2 and everything is going to be linked down below for the original project share, part 1, part 2. And then this is part 3 where we are going to be doing the covers and all of the inside like inserts and tags and whatnot. So we are gonna finish this up today. So let's get started, you guys. So in the last video, I put aside some paper that I was thinking I might want to use for the cover. But before I even do that, I just want to cut out some gold paper that's going to go on my cover. So it's going to measure 7 3/8 by 7 1/8. So that's going to be my front and my back. I have 2 pieces. And I don't know why, but my gold foil paper this time around is a little bit curlier than normal. And all the other times it was not this curly, but it is this time, and it's definitely harder to work with, but can't let it go to waste, you guys. So there's my 7 3/8, and then I'm gonna cut 7 1/8 the other way. And I'm still gonna need a piece for the spine, but I want to make sure that these fit. That doesn't go that way. All right, so that works. And as long as these two are the same size, we're good. All right, and then the spine is also gonna be 7 1/8, and it's gonna be by 2 inches. So I'm gonna cut one piece now by 2 inches. I think 2 inches is good. And then 7 1/8. Okay, before I cut my paper, I just want to make sure. Yep. All right, so that is good. All right, so let's figure out this cover situation. And sorry, you guys are getting hit by my paper cutter. So I was thinking possibly of using like this larger cut apart, wherever he may be, this guy, just to tie in some of like the home part of the collection. And now that I'm actually looking at this, I was thinking possibly this paper, but I think not, because this is off-white. I mean, I'm gonna be matting it. Though the thing is, there's a lot of coral in here, and there's only like that one kind of page of blue. So I kind of want to do the blue at the same time. But I'm just going to cut this down first, because he's really big. I don't need this whole entire thing. I'm still going to cut him down even more. All right, so that's gonna go on the cover here. I think that looks good, but I think I'll cut down a little bit more from the bottom here. And since I already have this out, I'm going to put him down onto some of this gold scrap paper. I do like to add in like the additional gold layer. I just think it looks nice. I'm just gonna put some tape on the back. And when you do your tape, you just want to make sure that you are not going to be stitching around this later. And if you are not going to be stitching around this, go ahead and tape up this whole entire thing. You could also use wet glue. I just use tape when I'm doing this like this. but totally feel free to do this however you would like. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this onto the gold, trying to leave enough space on both sides. I want some of that gold to show. And then I'm just gonna cut off the extra. Okay, so this is gonna go on my cover here. So then I'm gonna cut out this piece. I don't know. You know what, hold on, because there's the black and white gingham paper I was thinking of using as like the spine. And this guy right here. Okay, so I was thinking of using him as the spine. So if my height is 7 1/8, that means I'm going to cut this down to 7 inches. And I don't need that much. Let's say I want to do maybe like, I don't know, let's say 6 inches, right? That gives me enough room for everything else. I'm just going to cut that piece 6 by 6, and that way I could still use this gingham for my inserts later on. There's still plenty of gingham there. I did that wrong, didn't I? I was supposed to do 7 inches. Oh, sorry. Okay, 7 by 6 inches this is cut, not 6 by 6. Oh my goodness. Almost flipped out right there. But for my spine, this is going to need to be 1 7/8 by the 7 inches. So this is my spine. Okay. And I'll just put a piece of tape on here to hold that in place before I do my stitching. All right, so that is my spine piece. And then I was thinking of bringing this and bringing it a little bit to the front cover and a little bit to the back cover. So let's try maybe 1 7/8 again, because that might be a good, yeah, you know what, I like it. So I could add in a piece of 1 7/8 by 7 to the spine and to the front and the back covers. So this would go something like this, obviously on some gold, and then another piece would go on the back cover. But then I just need to decide if I want the blue paper or the coral. And you know what? I'm still leaning towards the coral. Still. Yeah, I think the coral is just speaking to me. So the coral, I'm gonna cut him down to about like 6 inches, so 6 by 7. Because I don't need him to go the full length. So 6 by 7, and that will also give me plenty of leftover paper that I could still use this for inserts throughout my album. Okay, so I lined up at 7 inches. I'm gonna cut at 6, down to 6, and then flip, and then cut that up to the 6 inches. Okay, so that's gonna be my cover. It goes like this. The only thing I might want is a piece of gold here. So I could either add in a piece of gold here, but maybe I don't, because I'm going to be stitching on it anyway, And this is gonna go across, but I also feel like I do. So what I could do is cut this shorter. If I know that this total piece needs to be 7 3/8, we are aiming, I guess, to have it 7 1/4, which means 7 1/8 minus 1 7/8. I have no idea what that is. See, that's too much math. So this is where you can kind of eyeball and use a pencil on where you would want to cut this, or just add a strip of gold afterwards, which is what I just might end up doing because that's too much. All right, for this, I'm actually going to use some wet glue. And notice how I didn't go all the way to the ends. Actually, one of these ends does need to be glued, because that other end is not going to have stitching. And I'm adding glue for this piece because sometimes if you don't add glue and you just do like a couple of pieces of tape and then I go to stitch, sometimes you could feel like it bubbling up underneath. So I don't want that. I just want this stuck down. And then this piece, so this piece, I'm gonna put glue all the way on the end on one side. Actually, I didn't really need to do that because we are gonna be gluing that, but it's okay. We just have to let that glue dry now. All right, so that, where is my my bone folder? What did I do with that? It's a great question. Got it. All right, here's my bone folder. All right, so this is gonna get stitched all the way around and then over here as well. And then this is gonna get stitched around this, and then this is gonna go on the cover right here. And that is gonna be the cover of my album. This is my spine. And then I still need a back piece. So my back piece, I don't know what to do. This is like all single-sided paper. Oh, this one is double-sided. Because this is like a separate one. This is from the Jen Hadfield, like the actual legit collection, not the knockoff that I have from Michael's. But I'm trying to see what scraps I have, my larger scraps, before I resort to that paper. This is what I have, you guys. So I need something that's going to cover the back of this. This is the back. So the spine is now going to be on this side for my back cover. And I don't know what we're going to use. I guess I could use blue, but I don't like that. I could use this, but I don't want to use that beautiful floral paper for that. So, yikes. Oh, maybe. I mean, maybe I'll use a paper that I don't like so much on the back so that I could save all those other pieces for like the inserts and the inside of my album. So let me show you. You guys have seen it, but oh, you know what? Wait a second. We might be able to do like a heart. I don't know if this heart will fit on the back. Just barely. But the heart needs to be 7 inches tall. So I'm going to cut at the very top of the heart, because But there's just like this random paper left over. Oh my goodness, that fits, you guys. It was supposed to be 7 inches, right? Okay, yes. And then maybe we could just cut off the extra and see what I got. So that should be 7 1/4, but not really. That's gonna be like the full amount, but we don't need that full amount. It's gonna get covered. So I'm gonna cut a little bit off of this side. All right, I wanna see what that looks like. And I know I'm still gonna have this spine here. So I'm trying to see how much more I should cut off just to kind of make it even, I think, on both sides. Like even on how much you're gonna see. I think that looks good. So maybe we'll just do that, and that will like use up this paper. I was gonna use a different one, but I think this will work. And you know what? Either that, or I was gonna make some kind of like gift bag with that paper, but I like being able to use it up. And then these scraps I could have used inside the album, like in between the waterfall or whatnot, but I already covered that up, so I could use that for something else, or like another mini album if I have more paper left over. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue this. This like curly gold foil paper is like definitely harder to work with, but it will flatten out a little bit as you glue stuff onto it, and then it'll flatten out a little bit more as I stitch it, and then once it's obviously glued down to my album, like you won't even know. You just gotta stick with it. All right, so you see this is gonna go on the back here. Okay, and I might outline this a little bit in gold to make it look more like a heart. I don't know. I don't really want to. All right, anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and stitch that off camera and I'll be back. All right, guys, so I did all of my stitching. So now what I just like to do is kind of flatten all the stitching out with my bone folder. All right, so now I'm just gonna add some of this tape to every single piece that I stitched, and mainly like on my actual stitching. I just want to make sure that when I put this down, it stays in place. And don't worry, I will be adding glue. But I do like to add the tape to my stitching, just in case. Okay, then just burnish that. Make sure the tape is mostly stuck down. And then before I add in anything else, I'm gonna add in some tape onto my album for my ribbon tie closure. So again, this is 7 1/4. So 3 5/8 is where I'm attaching my ribbon tie closure. And I'm just doing a black ribbon. And then I'm gonna go out to, I don't know, maybe like 13 inches. This is a bigger album, so maybe I'll do like, let's do 15 inches. I don't wanna not have enough. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and flip that. And I'm just gonna put a piece of tape where it kind of looks like it lines up with the other one. All right, and now I'm just going to reinforce that with some tape. I used a lot of tape, you guys. I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time. I don't know. All right, make sure that you're back on your front cover so that before you add on anything, you know which side you're working on, because last time I ended up having to take off my whole entire cover just when I was crafting, not on camera, but I was crafting and my whole cover, or my front cover, actually ended up being on the back and my back cover was on the front. And yeah, I had to take those pieces and pull them back up and then get them stuck down again. Luckily, I was able to pull it back up without having to need an entirely new piece, because sometimes you rip it a little too much, or you bend it a little too much while you're pulling it up, and then sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes you do need another piece. But I don't have more paper, so let's not do that. I mean, I do, but I don't. Not with what I need. All right, I'm gonna flatten this out as best as I can. And then you guys saw I added in glue to the back, and I'm just gonna kind of figure out where this could line up. All right, once it's stuck down, go ahead and burnish all of that. Okay, now I'm gonna get the spine down. Okay, I'm gonna lift that back up. And now, is this the right way? Yeah. Just want to make sure the pattern is continuous. And this is gonna go on my spine. All right, and then the back side. So peel all of that up. Okay, make sure you're putting down this piece the right way also. All right, you guys, so my front, spine, and back covers are finished. I do have this cut apart that's gonna go on the front here, and then I'll decorate around that. Not on camera though, and I'm not gonna do all the inserts with you guys. There's gonna be another project share, and that's just too many videos. Everybody that does my video class tutorials from my Etsy shop, they get everything from start to finish. They literally get like 5 videos, start to finish, everything, including my sewing, all of the measurements that I do for my inserts. Like, they get everything. But that's just so much. It ends up being like 5 videos to do here on YouTube. So I do those in my video class tutorials. All right, so I'm just sticking this down here. And then I will decorate that off camera. I'll probably add some flowers on the side there. Definitely some enamel dots and things. And I don't know, maybe we could find some stickers from that little like sticker book thing that I have. All right, so I know for a couple of pieces, I'm going to be adding in some tags. So I have these tags. This is a SVG cut file from my digital Etsy shop, which is KarolinasDigitals.etsy.com, but I'll also have that link down below where you guys can get these SVG files. So I'm actually going to be using all 3. I'm going to be using the small size, the medium, and the large size. And what I was thinking is this medium size is going to go right here. The small one is going to go here. And obviously I got to cut out the patterned paper. And then the largest one I was thinking is going to go here, where this kind of is like a Z fold here. So I was thinking that one was going to go here, and I'll probably add in something else as well. But those are so easy. All I have to do is just cut out the pattern paper, since I already did the black and the white, and I like to have a stash of them. So I'm going to leave those in there for now. I'll cut out the pattern paper. Actually, I gotta pick out my pattern paper for that first before I don't have any paper later. Here, I think, or you know what, I guess we're just gonna cut them out at the same time. And what you can do, like, is just trace this. I'm just going to cut off this piece and have my machine cut it out for me. All right, so that's gonna be the large piece. And I'm just gonna take these back out just so I could see what paper I want before I do the rest of my inserts. Oh, actually, I should leave that open so I could see. This one is probably gonna get this paper. So again, I'm just gonna cut this off. And, oh, this is double-sided, but that doesn't work for the back there. I think we're gonna do this piece. All right, so I'm gonna get all three of those cut out with my cutting machine. I use the Silhouette Cameo, and I'll be back. All right, so I have all of my papers cut out, and now I just have to glue them. And I'm gonna like finish all the decorating and stuff off camera. Like I'll add in the eyelets off camera because I'm gonna add eyelets. The ribbon pieces onto here. I'm trying to hurry up with this album. Or like hurry up on camera at least. Okay, there's that one. And it's so nice that I already have these like cut out. So I like to do that for myself. If you get the SVG file and you guys have a cutting machine, you could do that for yourself as well. And then if you want to, you could just kind of trace around the paper and cut it out that way. But if you guys don't have a cutting machine, I also sell these tags. You could get like the black and the white photo mat in my Etsy shop, and then you would just trace the white photo mat for the tag for your pattern paper. So if you guys wanted to get like the cut tags already, that's an option. And notice how like this one doesn't have holes. Like you can select either whether you want to get it with holes or not. And then in the SVG cut file, you could always just remove the hole if you don't want to do that. Sometimes I like the hole, sometimes I don't. I don't know. I don't really have a preference. It's just when you have the hole, you have to make sure they kind of like line up better. Whereas if you don't have the hole, you just line up the paper and then you punch the hole afterwards. Like this one already has a hole, so I could just punch the hole where that one is. And like this one, for example, has all 3 holes, so I have to make sure the holes always match up. But then again, sometimes it's also good to have the hole because it kind of shows you where you should place your paper in a way. So, just personal preference, I guess. All right, so I'm just gonna put those, or I don't know, do I want to put them back in here? This one goes here. I'll do all the everything else afterwards for those. All right, let's see what scraps I have. And I know we need a combination of like bigger inserts and smaller inserts. Like I have this scrap that could go, oh, that could go behind that. So I'm literally just gonna cut this off, and this is gonna be a insert. So this measures 5 1/8 by, let's do 5 5/8 just to make it an even number. All right, so if this is 5 1/8 by 5 5/8, I'm just gonna grab some white paper and I'm gonna cut that down to the same exact size. And then I'm gonna grab a piece of black paper and I'm gonna cut that down to a little bigger. So now it's gonna be 5 1/4 by 5 3/4. And that's gonna be this insert right here, and I'll probably round the corners. But that way you guys have an idea of like where everything is gonna go and how it's gonna fit. So I'm just gonna do a couple like that with you guys. Where else do I need a larger one? I need something back here, which I'm thinking, I don't know, that or nope. I think I'm gonna put the green one here. So again, literally just cutting inserts to whatever size I have them at. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/8. So cut this piece down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/8. And then this is going to be 4 3/8 by 5 1/4. So just an 1/8 inch bigger. Okay, so that's gonna go here. And again, I'll probably round these corners. And that's gonna go right there to keep that closed. I'm literally just going through all of my scraps. I have this scrap, and maybe this one's gonna go on the inside. I want the bigger one. So this one, I'm gonna cut down to 6 inches. So this measures 5 5/8 by 6 inches. So again, 5 5/8 by 6 inches. And then this piece is going to be 5 3/4 by 6 1/8. I always feel like the paper matting part takes, wait, what did I do wrong there? What? Oh, wait, 4 5/8. How did I get that wrong? This was supposed to be 4 5/8. Meaning that this guy is supposed to be 4 3/4. Anyway, I always feel like the paper matting takes the longest, like gluing it down. So that's gonna go in there. There was this pattern on the back side. I don't know if I want to use him though. Oh, we have this house paper. Okay, I think we're gonna use this black paper for the smaller pocket here. And I don't know, what does this measure? Gonna cut that off. So let's make him 5 inches. All right, so let's make a 5 by 4. So then cut this by 4. And if you want to do like a little booklet, like you could do that as well. So I'm using this other scrap from my well, hold on. Let me do another 5 by 4 real quick. That will measure 5. So this is 4 by 5. So if I want 5 by 4, I want my border to be 5 1/8 and 4 1/8, which means that this, the height needs to be 5 1/8. Then you're gonna take that piece of paper and you're gonna score it at 4 1/8. Fold it, and then just go ahead and cut off the extra. So I'm gonna line it up at 4 1/8 and cut off the extra. So I know that this is gonna go inside here, and this is gonna go out here, and that's my little booklet. So that can be finished. This, I want more here. I'm thinking maybe we could add a little bit of color, and this fits perfectly. So let's see what size this is. 5 1/8 by 6 inches. So this piece is going to be 5 1/4 by 6 1/8. And if you want to add a flap on like paper that's not long enough, like let's say I wanted to add a flap to this. This is 5 1/8 by right, this was 5 1/4 by 6 1/8. So I would now cut a piece that measures 5 3/4 by 6 1/8 and score it 1/2 inch and glue those two together. It's a little booklet, but I'm not gonna make that a booklet. I'm just gonna do it regular, and that's gonna be another one that just goes right there. We need something on the inside of these pockets as well. Let's see what we got. All right, I have this paper. So this is a shorter pocket here, but it could still fit a good size. I could actually fit this whole entire thing there. So I'm just gonna cut that right there. And actually I could just fit maybe the smaller one there. And I know that this other side is a deeper pocket. This one goes all the way down. Okay, since that one goes all the way down, I'm gonna use this piece. And let's make him, I guess, by 6 inches, 6 1/8. So that's 6 1/8 by 6. Yep, that will fit. So that means this needs to be 6 1/8 by 6, but those are too short. So let's cut this at 6, and then 6 1/8. So then this piece needs to be 6 1/8 by, oh, I don't need to do that yet, by 6 1/4. So that's gonna go like that, and that's just gonna go in here into this pocket. And then the other side, we were gonna do this guy. Let me cut off this top. Oh, he was gonna go this way. All right, I actually want him a little shorter, so let's make him 4 1/2 by 5.5. Okay, use a scrap here. So this is 5.5. Four and a half. And maybe I want to make him a booklet. This is not big enough. How about this one? 5.5 is what he is, so I need this to be 5 3/4. No, 5 5/8. And he's 4.5. You know what? We're gonna make this easy on myself. We're gonna leave this like that. We're gonna cut down the other pieces again. Because this is 8.5 inches, so let's just cut 1/4 inch more off of those. Score this at 4 1/4, and that's gonna be an almost perfect size booklet, but you know, the paper is always a little bit bigger than what you need it to be. So that's 4 1/4. So both of these I'm gonna cut down to 4 1/8 instead. That way I don't have to paper piece 2 pieces of paper together. And that one is gonna go right in here. All right, and then we have a photo mat that needs to go there, which I'm kind of thinking this guy again. Let's cut him down to, so he's 5 by 6, and he works there even though there is what am I trying to say? There is the plaid up there, but we're gonna go with it. So now I'm gonna cut this piece down to 6 inches because that's a 5 by 6. So that's 6 by 5. And then this guy is gonna be 5 1/8 by 6 1/8. Okay. Let's see, I have this little scrap here, but I don't know, I was kind of thinking that would go, but that's so much plaid. Maybe most of our large pieces I think are actually done. So I have this piece here. He can go in here and be the larger tag. So I'm gonna cut him at, I'm gonna do 2.5. So he's 2.5 by a little bit more than 5. Yeah, he's 5. I'll just do 2.5 by 5. That means that I need a piece of white paper. I'm trying to use scraps. So this is going to be by 5 inches. Okay, those kind of work out. And then this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut these at an angle. Okay, I'm going to take one of those angles that was here, flip it, and put it on the other side so that I can cut that guy to be the same angle. Grab a scrap piece. Is this long enough? Yep. And then you glue down one of the papers. Okay, and you want to cut that to leave a border. Same thing with these. And then you would just glue the back side. And then obviously I'll put a hole in this and make it cute. Add a eyelet and some ribbon. I just wanted to show you guys how to do that one tag. Okay, so he's gonna fit right in here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna fill up the rest of this. I will glue all those down. I'm gonna fill this up. I still need things that go into these, probably more tags or something. I haven't decided yet, but you guys get the idea of how I do all the inserts and things like that. I literally just use my scraps, let that kind of usually determine the size. And yeah, so that is everything, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the full project share of this once it's fully completed and decorated. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying me posting every single day in July so far. And I will see you guys in my next crafty video. Talk to you soon. Bye.